Here's something that's been keeping me up at night. Since the new Real ID enforcement began in 2025 and the TSA Confirm ID fee kicks in this February, I'm watching seniors get turned away at airport security checkpoints across the country. Not because they did anything wrong, but because nobody warned them. Nobody explained that the rules fundamentally changed. And that breaks my heart, because these are completely preventable situations. You might be thinking, I've been flying for decades. I know what I'm doing. And you're probably right. You've navigated airports when they were simpler, when a driver's license was just a driver's license. But here's the thing. The landscape has shifted dramatically. We're talking about new ID requirements that went into effect last May, a $45 fee that starts next month if you don't have the right documents. TSA procedures specifically designed for travelers over 75 that most people have never heard of, and airline assistance programs that could make your journey infinitely easier if you only knew to ask for them. Just 3 weeks ago, I watched a 78-year-old woman sobbing at the security checkpoint because her driver's license didn't have the star marking. She had no idea it was required. Her daughter's graduation ceremony in Portland started in 6 hours, and she was stuck in Phoenix with no way to board her flight. The TSA agent felt terrible, but there was nothing he could do. She didn't know about the backup options. Nobody had told her. I don't want that to be you. And if you find this kind of insider information helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I share travel secrets and senior-specific tips that can genuinely save your trip. Here's what we're covering today. I'm going to walk you through 8 critical things every traveler over 70 needs to know before stepping foot in an airport in 2026. These aren't suggestions. These are the rules, the rights, and the insider strategies that could mean the difference between boarding your flight and watching it leave without you. Let's start with the one catching the most people off guard, the Real ID deadline. As of May 7, 2025, you cannot board a domestic flight with a standard driver's license anymore. It must be Real ID compliant. And here's what most seniors don't realize. Many of you renewed your licenses years ago and have absolutely no idea whether yours qualifies or not. Here's what you need to do right now. Take out your driver's license. Look at the top right corner. Do you see a star inside a circle or inside a cutout of your state? That's the Real ID marker. If you don't see that star, your license will not get you through TSA starting now. Period. Now here's where it gets worse. Starting February 1st, 2026, just weeks from now, TSA is implementing a new $45 fee for travelers who show up without proper identification. They call it Confirm ID. You pay the fee, they attempt to verify your identity, and if successful, you get a 10-day travel window. But here's the kicker. That verification isn't guaranteed. If they can't confirm who you are, you're denied boarding and that fee is non-refundable. You're not getting on that plane, but don't panic. You have options. A valid U.S. passport or passport card works perfectly in place of a Real ID. If you're in Washington, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, or Vermont, your enhanced driver's license is automatically compliant. And here's something almost nobody knows. TSA currently accepts expired IDs up to 2 years after expiration. So if your passport expired in 2024 or 2025, it might still work for domestic travel. If none of these apply to you, visit your DMV immediately. Not next month, now. Appointments are booking out weeks in advance as people scramble to beat the deadline. Don't be the person standing at the checkpoint with no options. Check your ID today. Now let me tell you about something that could make your entire airport experience dramatically easier. TSA has specific screening accommodations for travelers 75 and older, and almost nobody knows about them. Here's the policy. If you're 75 or older, you can keep your shoes on during standard security screening. You can keep your light jacket on, too. This isn't a favor someone at the checkpoint is doing for you out of kindness. This is official TSA policy, and it's your right. Here's exactly what you do. When you approach the security checkpoint, tell the TSA officer, "I'm 75 and I'd like to keep my shoes on per TSA policy." They will accommodate you. No documentation required, no proof of age needed. Now, if the metal detector alarms, they may ask you to remove your shoes for additional screening or conduct a pat-down. But here's what they don't always mention. You can request to remain seated during any pat-down. Just say, I need to remain seated for screening due to mobility limitations. They're trained to accommodate this request. There's also TSA Cares, a dedicated helpline specifically for travelers needing extra assistance. Call 855-787-2227 at least 72 hours before your flight. They can arrange for a passenger support specialist to meet you at the checkpoint and guide you through the entire screening process step by step. I've heard from viewers who struggled through security for years, removing their shoes every single time, losing their balance, feeling rushed and overwhelmed, when they could have kept their shoes on the entire time. They simply didn't know. You don't have to white-knuckle your way through security like everyone. These accommodations exist because you've earned them. Use them. Now let's clear up some major confusion about prescription medications, because this one catches people off guard all the time. There's a myth floating around that all your medications must be in their original prescription bottles when you fly. And I watch seniors painstakingly transfer every single pill back into pharmacy bottles before each trip, stressing about whether TSA will confiscate their heart medication. Here's the truth. For domestic flights within the United States, TSA does not require your medications to be in original prescription bottles. That's straight from TSA's own guidelines. Your pill organizer is perfectly fine. Those daily compartments with Monday through Sunday? Completely acceptable. Now here's where it gets a little more nuanced. State laws vary on medication labeling, so technically there could be differences depending on where you're traveling. But TSA follows federal guidelines, and federally, there's no original bottle requirement for domestic travel. Here's what you actually need to know. Keep all medications in your carry-on bag. Never, ever put essential medications in checked luggage. Bags get lost. Bags get delayed. Your blood pressure medication cannot be sitting in a lost suitcase in Denver while you're in Miami. For liquid medications, things like insulin or liquid antibiotics, you're allowed to bring more than the standard 3.4 ounces. But you must declare them at the checkpoint. Don't just throw them in your bag and hope nobody notices. Walk up to the TSA officer and say, "I have medically necessary liquids in my bag that exceed 3.4 ounces. They'll pull your bag aside and test the liquids. It takes about 2 minutes. That's it. Now here's where original bottles do matter. If you're traveling internationally, the rules change dramatically. Many countries require original prescription bottles with your name clearly labeled, and some require a doctor's letter explaining your medications. For controlled substances especially, having that original pharmacy label can save you serious headaches at customs. Imagine spending an hour before every trip transferring pills back into bottles when you didn't need to at all. That's stress and time you'll never get back. For domestic flights, use your pill organizer. Keep your routines simple. Now let's talk about wheelchair assistance, because this is critical, and most people get it completely wrong. If you need wheelchair assistance at the airport, you need to request it at least 48 hours before your flight. Not when you get to the airport. Not at check-in. 48 hours in advance. Here's why this matters so much. Airlines contract with third-party companies to provide wheelchair services, and those companies staff based on advance requests. If you show up expecting a wheelchair without having pre-arranged it, you might wait 30 minutes or more for someone to become available. I've seen travelers miss flights because they assumed wheelchair assistance would just appear when they needed it. Here's what you do. When booking your ticket online, look for a section called Special Services or Accessibility Requests. Check the box for wheelchair assistance. If you're booking by phone, tell the agent, "I need wheelchair assistance from check-in to the gate and from the gate to baggage claim on arrival." Be specific about where you need help. If you already booked your ticket, call the airline now. Say, "I have a flight on this date and I need to add wheelchair assistance to my reservation." They'll update it in the system. And here's something important. Wheelchair assistance is completely free on all U.S. airlines. It's your right under the Air Carrier Access Act. You don't need to tip, though many passengers choose to. You should never feel like you're imposing or being a burden. Airports are massive. Gates are far. You've earned the right to ask for help. All right, this is a big one. Airlines are required by federal law to let passengers who need extra time board before everyone else. This is called pre-boarding, and it's your right. But here's the problem. They don't always announce it clearly, and many seniors feel embarrassed to ask. Let me tell you something. The crew wants you to pre-board. We would much rather have you settled comfortably in your seat before 200 people come pushing down the aisle than have you struggling to find overhead bin space while everyone's rushing past you. It's safer for you, it's easier for us, and it keeps the whole boarding process moving smoothly. Here's what the law actually says. Under Federal Regulation 14 CFR 382.93, airlines must offer pre-boarding to any passenger who self-identifies as needing additional time to board, stow accessibility equipment, or be seated. The Department of Transportation clarified this in 2013. Pre-boarding means before all other passengers. That includes first class. That includes elite status members. That includes military. You board first. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need a wheelchair or a visible disability. If you need extra time, you qualify. Period. Here's exactly what you say. Approach the gate agent about 20 minutes before boarding begins. Tell them, I'd like to request pre-boarding because I need extra time to get settled. That's it. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to explain your medical history. The gate agent will allow you to board during the pre-boarding phase. Some airlines call this priority boarding or courtesy boarding, but it's all the same thing. You get on the plane first. No extra charge, no documentation. It's federal law. Picture this. An elderly couple, both in their 70s, didn't know to ask for pre-boarding. They waited for their boarding group, navigated the crowded jet bridge, and the husband with his cane was exhausted by the time they reached their row. He nearly fell trying to lift their carry-on into the overhead bin while people squeezed past him. All of that stress could have been avoided with one simple request at the gate. Please ask for pre-boarding. You've earned it. Now let's talk about traveling with oxygen equipment, because this requires some specific planning. Here's what you need to know. U.S. airlines no longer provide supplemental oxygen on board. If you need oxygen during your flight, you must bring your own FAA-approved portable oxygen concentrator. Not all concentrators are approved, so this matters. Look at your device. You need to find a permanent label with red lettering that says the manufacturer has determined this device conforms to all applicable FAA acceptance criteria for POC carriage and use on board aircraft. If your concentrator doesn't have that label, it may not be permitted for use during flight. Here's your action plan. Call the airline at least 48 hours before your flight. Say, I'll be traveling with a portable oxygen concentrator and need to confirm your requirements. They'll walk you through their specific policies. You must bring enough battery power to last 150% of your total flight time. If your flight is 4 hours, you need batteries for 6 hours minimum. This accounts for delays. Airlines may also require a physician's letter confirming you're fit to fly, your required oxygen flow rate, and that you can operate the device yourself. And one more thing. You cannot sit in an exit row when using oxygen equipment. Your POC doesn't count against your carry-on limit, and for those traveling with CPAP or BiPAP machines, pack them in a clear plastic bag inside the carrying case. They go through the X-ray just like everything else. Needing oxygen doesn't ground you. It just takes a little extra preparation. Here's something most families don't realize. Your loved ones don't have to say goodbye at the curb. They can actually accompany you all the way through security and right to your gate, even without a ticket. It's called a gate pass, sometimes called an escort pass, and most major U.S. airlines offer them. This service exists specifically for situations like yours. A family member helping an elderly parent navigate the airport, a spouse making sure their partner gets settled before a solo trip, an adult child meeting mom at the gate when she lands. All of this is possible, and it's generally free. Here's how it works. Gate passes are issued by the airline, not the airport and not TSA. The companion goes to the airline ticket counter at the departure terminal. They need to bring a government-issued photo ID and information about your flight, either your confirmation number or a copy of your itinerary. Here's exactly what they say. I need a gate pass to accompany an elderly family member to their gate. Can you help me with that? The ticket agent will verify the information, complete an authorization form, and print the pass. Your companion then goes through standard TSA screening just like any other traveler. American Airlines, Delta, United, Southwest, JetBlue, and Alaska all offer this service. Some airports, like Seattle, Pittsburgh, and San Antonio, have even started visitor pass programs, allowing non-travelers to access terminals more broadly. For arrival flights, you can often arrange for someone to meet you at the gate. Note this in your reservation when booking, or call the airline in advance to request it. Your family can walk you all the way to your seat, help you get settled, and stay until boarding is complete. That peace of mind is available to you. You just have to ask. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: invisible disabilities and the accommodations you're entitled to even when there's nothing visibly wrong. Not all disabilities are obvious. Maybe you have chronic pain that makes standing in long lines excruciating. Maybe you have arthritis that makes lifting your bag into the overhead bin impossible. Maybe you deal with anxiety that turns crowded airports into overwhelming experiences. Maybe you have a heart condition or breathing issues that slow you down, but aren't apparent to anyone looking at you. Here's the truth. The Air Carrier Access Act protects you. You don't need a wheelchair or a visible mobility device to qualify for accommodations. If your condition affects your ability to navigate the airport comfortably, you have rights. Here's what you say when requesting help. I have a condition that isn't immediately visible, and I need a specific accommodation. Then state exactly what you need. For example, I have severe arthritis and need to pre-board so I can store my bag without rushing. Or, I have anxiety in crowded spaces and need assistance navigating security. Airlines are required to provide reasonable accommodations when you ask. There's also the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Over 240 airports worldwide participate in this. You can pick up a free lanyard with a sunflower pattern that discreetly signals to staff that you may need extra patience or assistance. You don't have to explain your condition. The lanyard does the communicating for you. Additionally, TSA offers notification cards you can print from their website. These cards let you discreetly inform officers about your condition without having to announce it out loud. Your pain is real, even if others can't see it. Your challenges are valid, even without a wheelchair. You deserve the same accommodations as anyone with a visible disability. Don't suffer in silence. Speak up and ask for what you need. Now, before I let you go, if you found this information valuable and you want to make sure you never miss another insider tip that could save your trip, hit that subscribe button right now. I mean it. The algorithms are tricky, and subscribing is the only way to make sure these videos actually show up in your feed. Let me do a quick recap of everything we covered today, because this is important. We talked about the Real ID reality check, and that new $45 fee starting February 1st. Look for the star on your license. If it's not there, you need a passport, or you need to visit your DMV now. We covered the TSA accommodations for travelers 75 and older. You can keep your shoes and light jacket on. That's your right. Use it. We cleared up the prescription medication confusion. TSA does not require original bottles for domestic flights. Your pill organizer is fine. Declare liquid medications over 3.4 ounces, but they're allowed. We went through wheelchair assistance and why requesting 48 hours in advance is critical. It's free, it's your right, and it could save you from missing your flight. We talked about pre-boarding rights that airlines don't always announce. Just tell the gate agent you need extra time. No documentation required. We covered portable oxygen concentrators and the specific requirements for flying with medical equipment. Check for that FAA compliance label. We explained gate passes and how your family can accompany you all the way to your seat. Go to the airline ticket counter with ID. And finally, we discussed invisible disabilities and the accommodations you're entitled to, even without a visible condition. The sunflower lanyard, the TSA notification card, the right to ask for what you need. That's 8 things that could mean the difference between a smooth trip and a nightmare at the airport. Here's one final bonus tip that I wish more travelers knew. If you're flying alone, tell your flight attendant during boarding. Just a simple, "Hi, I'm traveling alone today, and I wanted to let you know in case I need any assistance." That one sentence puts you on our radar. If there's turbulence, if there's an emergency, if you need help reaching the bathroom or your medication, we know to check on you. We're not going to hover, but we'll be watching out for you. And trust me, that can make all the difference. You are the reason planes fly. Your comfort, your safety, your dignity matter. Don't be afraid to speak up, to ask questions, to advocate for yourself. Every accommodation I mentioned today exists because you deserve it. You've earned it through a lifetime of travel. Use these rights. I want to hear from you. What's your biggest concern about flying? Is it the security lines? The long walks? Medical equipment? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I've got videos coming up on how to get seat upgrades, what to do when flights get canceled, and more insider secrets the airlines don't advertise. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm so glad you're here. I'll see you in the next one.